Nimbula medhangu nimilote na isorotumboa na makia uminarua kinaona na vekavi moniti kina vakarombuka rongo mena biasama kina vibaga barota kinin reko malolo ena radio Fiji wan na wongani pioniano ngai na makia kina
आपकी शादी होने वाली है 5 बच्चे होंगे 5
हाय मैं हूँ आपकी सहेली रेनू सुनते रहिए मिर्च एफएम मैं हूँ ना 9 से 12 बजे तक
Tonight on FBC News, we take a look at Fiji's first ever fossil cave that's now a tourist attraction. Concerns that most Fijians aren't planning their retirement. And composers told their right is supreme in copyright laws. First up, breaking news tonight. The Fiji Rugby Union has suffered a major blow towards their plans to move the sport forward, following the resignation of FRU High Performance Manager Mike Ryan. Reasons for Ryan's resignation is yet to be revealed. However, FBC News has been reliably informed of his motion to prematurely end his contract at Rugby House. He joined the FRU in late January, and his resignation, which is believed to have been handed in yesterday, means his time as FRU's HPU manager is the shortest term served compared to previous managers that include Peter Murphy, Daniel Lobendan and Tale Mwanga. Lobendan and now Ryan are the only two who have opted to resign on their own accord, while Murphy and Wanga were given the directive to leave. It's a huge loss for FRU, with a wide range of contacts Ryan could have used with some of the best teams in New Zealand to help Fiji rugby. Ryan's expertise also played a huge part in the Flying Fijians' recent Pacific Nations Cup win, while there were also plans being made to establish a rugby academy in Fiji. A cave which has existed for thousands of years will be used as an eco-tourist site from next month. The Voli Cave in Singatoka is the first fossil cave to be located in Fiji that contains prehistoric terrestrial animal remains, including remains of crocodile and previously unknown giant megapode and giant pigeon. As Christopher Chand reports, this historical location will now be a tourist attraction.
This is the Voli Cave, which was opened today. It represents our heritage and is of national importance. The landowners of this area hail from Yandua village. They will use it to host tours for visitors.
Which is linking tourism with the historical preservation, not just of architecture, etc., but also in fact historical sites such as the one here today, where we are able to create tourism for those people who are interested in archaeology, in history, in geography, and of course in our past.
It's believed early Fijians lived in this cave some 2,000 years ago. Human use of this cave is evident from shells, stone tools and pottery findings.
It's also important in the region for human history. It's very near to the Singatoka sand dunes, of course, and it's very likely that people that were living at the sand dunes, the Lapita people, were probably also inhabiting the cave at the same time.
What I know, our ancestors been living inside the cave during the time of war and maybe weather, because they cook, they sleep inside the cave, and it is very important to us.
Syed Kayum says ecotourism projects have struggled in other parts of the country, and it's vital to ensure this is maintained for tourists.
At the end of the day, like all such ventures, there needs to be a business-like approach to it in order to ensure sustainability.
With this symbolic site being used for tourism tours, it is equally important to ensure it is sustained and preserved for future generations. Christopher Chand, FBC News.
There's now concern that many Fijians aren't planning their retirement. This was revealed at the Retirement Planning Expo today that was jointly organized by Westpac Bank and the Public Service Commission. Ritika Pratap reports.
Today's expo isn't the first organized by Westpac and the PSA. And in all other events, the findings have been the same. Not many people have a retirement plan.
Most people haven't thought much about retirement, and when they do, it's a little bit too late. People don't know how much they need to save today so that they'll have enough to retire on tomorrow.
Adrian Hughes says it's their responsibility to inform the public of their options.
It's part of helping the community again make some really important decisions today which will affect them in the future.
Meanwhile, PSC Permanent Secretary Parmesh Chand shares the same concerns, saying it's important that Fijians are well prepared before deciding to retire.
There's a lot more to one's life as well as future beyond retirement. Yeah?
Chand goes on to say that government's decision to lower the retirement age has its benefits.
To also give opportunities to younger people to join the workforce, as well as bring in new expertise, whilst at the same time ensuring that the core of expertise is retained within public service.
While the response for these expos remain positive, the advice remains the same: pay no retirement now. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
A composer's right is supreme in copyright laws. Fijian composers were made known of this in a workshop to enlighten them about their rights and how they can benefit being a musician. Epeli Tukwasa reports.
Fijian composers were told they have exclusive rights to permit or prohibit the use of their work. Anyone who wants to use the original work in any form will have to seek their consent or approval.
The exclusive right that they have is the total right in the work that they have produced. So, right to copying has got to have the approval, the right to adapt, the right to broadcast, the right to communicate to the public, the right to perform. All those rights belong to the composer.
Recording studios in the country which want to reproduce songs will have to pay about 6.25% to composers. However, composers in Fiji are not getting their fair share of the cake.
Fortunately, that is not the case, but we are looking at tightening up the legal boundaries on that. In Australia, it's well taken care of because there's AMCOS, the organization that looks after mechanical rights. So it's the case in the UK under MCPS. In Fiji, we are working towards that.
Composers' right is regarded as human right under the international laws, but piracy has been a major threat to this right. The Fiji Performers' Rights Association is trying its best to safeguard composers' right in Fiji by creating awareness.
So we have to make the public aware that they're breaking one of the laws of the country by purchasing pirated goods, because they're basically stealing from another person. They're stealing bread from the table, which is supposed to be providing food for the family of the composer concerned.
There are about 564 registered composers in Fiji, but FIPRA says a large number is still out there which need to be registered. Epeli Tukwasa, FBC News.
In the news ahead, we find out how's life treating our retired teachers working in the Marshall Islands.
Hope you're enjoying the music right now on Gold FM. Only the classic hits, especially if you're spending your time at home or around the office. I certainly hope you're taking it easy and enjoying the music coming your way. Well, I got a whole lot more to keep you moving and to keep you going right up until you reach knock-off time.
I'm Kara. Join me every weekday from 2 to 7 on The Ride, only on Gold FM.
Bula, I'm DJ Toro. Join me every Monday to Thursday, 7 until midnight. The premium classics on Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Welcome back to FBC News. Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama arrived into the Solomon Islands today ahead of celebrations to mark the nation's 35 years of independence. Bainimarama was greeted by Solomon Islands cabinet ministers before meeting briefly with Prime Minister Gordon Darcy Lilo. This afternoon, the two prime ministers were part of a delegation that visited the Fiji military cemetery in Honiara. FBC journalist Akasita Tale is in Honiara and files this report.
One of Fiji's sons and a reputed man of high nobility will be best remembered by all Solomon Islanders even until today. The late Panapa Sambalekana is the sixth man buried at the Fiji military cemetery at Varamata in the Solomon Islands capital Honiara that was visited by Prime Minister Bainimarama today. Balekana was a highly respected man in the Melanesian country and came to Honiara as an employee of the Public Works Department in 1953. He is very well known as the composer of the Solomon Island National Anthem, God Bless Our Solomon Islands. Speaking to FBC News, Fiji's consul to the Solomon Islands, Atueta, says he is proud of his father's achievements in being a role model to the people. He says he was a well-known Fijian amongst Melanesians and had a very high reputation. Balekana is one of the first Fijians and first in the Solomon Islands to have accorded a state funeral. He is also one of the 6 veteran soldiers who are buried at the cemetery. 5 of the soldiers were killed in action in the Second World War at the Guadalcanal. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama will be kept busy from tonight. He is being hosted to a welcome dinner here in Honiara by his Solomon Islands counterpart. Tomorrow, he will be welcomed by 300 Fijians living here. On Monday, he is chief guest at the 35th anniversary of the Solomon Islands independence. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
A 64-year-old man is currently admitted in a serious condition at the Nandi Hospital after he was hit by a vehicle while crossing the road this morning. Police say the incident occurred along the Queen's Road in Saweni, Lotoka. The man from Vatiaka Ba was crossing the road when he was allegedly hit by a vehicle driven by a 40-year-old man. The 40-year-old driver of Malolo Nandi is in police custody, while the victim is admitted at the intensive care unit with serious head injuries. Major development plans are in place for Fiji's Justice Department. This was revealed by Chief Justice Anthony Gates while speaking to newly sworn-in Justices of the Peace and Commissioner of Oaths yesterday. Roland Koroi reports.
While advising the newly sworn-in JPs and Commissioner of Oaths at the Suva High Court yesterday, Chief Justice Anthony Gates took a short trip down memory lane, reminiscing his first days in Fiji and how the Suva Court has developed.
Today's proceedings take place in what was formerly, when I first arrived in Fiji in 1977, the Chief Magistrate's Court. I understand that the people in the dock at the moment are not involved in any criminal proceedings today. And there were then 3 magistrates in Suva. Today there are 8. The ceiling of the court has been reduced in height to allow for a Master's Court, that's High Court number 8, and a tax court, High Court number 7, to be created on the 2nd floor.
Justice Gates goes on to reveal some of the major developments expected soon.
Many works are ongoing throughout government buildings and much further work remains, such as 2 appeal courts, a new law library, a new holding cell block and a creche, to name a few.
Apart from developments here in Suva, an addition of a 3rd courtroom is expected for the Nandi Magistrates Court. The Mba Magistrates Court will be moved from its current flood-prone location. A new court is expected for Vunindawa, while refurbishments are expected at Nambawalu. Roland Koroi, FBC News.
Retired civil servants working overseas have hailed the initiative by the government that's allowed them to continue their services. FBC News caught up with 2 retired teachers today who have returned from the Marshall Islands. As Ritika Pratap reports, the women have enjoyed their work and are returning soon.
55 retired, but still with a lot more to give. These women have just returned from teaching in the Marshall Islands.
It's been really challenging but good, interesting, the service that we have been trying to offer out there in the Marshall Islands.
I feel needed, I feel useful, and that's exactly what we're doing. We're putting ourselves to good use out there in the Marshall Islands.
It's no doubt that in a new place with a new way of life, there's bound to be some challenges.
They don't seem to be really interested in education. Like coming into the classroom in their own time. When school was supposed to be starting at 8, they would come in 9, 10.
But despite these challenges, both women believe they speak on behalf of their colleagues who accompanied them when they say this move by the government to send them to the Marshall Islands was just what they needed.
Put ourselves to good use, because where there is a need, Fiji has so much to offer. Let's put it that way. We have so much to offer. And at 55, coming out at 55, there's still a lot more that one can do.
What PSC has done was really great. It was something that they had not been looking forward to, but when it has come, we grabbed it, and then it has been really challenging.
The PSC says this program is a success and that there are possibilities of sending even more retired people abroad for work. As for Dinah and Villa, they leave Fiji again soon to impart their knowledge and continue doing what they do best. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
A New Zealand-based businessman has opened a second supermarket in Nadi last night, in the process creating more jobs. USave Supermarket has opened another shop at Vutwalevu, having started the business in November last year. Owner Bobby Khan wants to set up his next shop at Dhuvu in Singatoka. He has returned to invest in the country after migrating to New Zealand 23 years ago.
One of the attractive things about the investment made by Bobby Khan and some of the other former Fijians who returned back home, they have in fact invested in areas where perhaps there was a lack of investment. Vutwalevu, as you know, is a growing suburb of Nadi, and there is a demand for services.
In sports news ahead, netball competition heats up.
I wake up in the morning, I prefer to go down to the gym, get a bit of physical work done. Also later on in the day, I decide to go through for meditation. I do a bit of reading to find out what the latest songs are, a bit of research. And for me, it's all about the listeners.
Hey, what's up? I'm Rio, and this is the Traffic Jam every weekday from 3 o'clock to 7, only on Today FM. Today is hit music. What's up?
सूरज की पहली किरण के साथ दिन की शुरुआत कीजिए। सुबह का मंगल प्रभात आपको शुभ हो। सुबह सुबह हो खुशियों का मेला, ना लोगों की परवाह ना दुनिया का झमेला, पंछियों का संगीत हो और मौसम अलबेला। मुबारक हो आपको ये खूबसूरत सवेरा। हर सोमवार से लेकर शुक्रवार तक सुबह 6 से लेकर 9 बजे तक शामिल रहें रेडियो फिजी 2 पर हम सफर में रविंद्र सिंह के साथ।
Welcome to FBC Sports. Suva was impressive yet again as they managed to beat Neitasiri with a bonus point. Neitasiri was limited to just one try, which they managed in the dying stages of the game. Final score, Suva 29, Neitasiri 10. Lautoka beat Tavua 29 points to 12, while Nandi emerged victorious in the Battle of the Neighbours as they beat Nadranga 29. Northland got the highest score of the weekend, beating Maluata 45-3. Ovalau beat Vatukola 11-9, while newcomers Namosi created an upset, edging Tailevu 14-13. It was semi-final time for the Southern Zone Secondary School's rugby competition at the Suva Grammar Grounds today. The intensity of the game shifted up a notch as schools attempted to outdo each other to grab spots in the Nationals. Shalvin Chand was at the games.
The level of intensity and competition at the games is a good sign for the organizers, who believe this is their year.
And it's a really positive sign to us. It means that number 2, 3, and 4, they're all going to be coming in strong when it comes to the result.
While the Southern Zone has been dominant in the younger grades, getting the silverware in the older grades is what they are aiming for.
Smaller group, the younger grades. Yeah, we still hold the trophy for the 14, 15, and 16. 17 is held by Rapinavula and 18 by KBS. Now
trying very hard to up another level.
Right now, Suva schools are adhering to the plan that could see them accomplishing their goal of dominating schools rugby nationally.
As we have always been saying, we have a plan in place. That is what we are just
The winner of the age grade competition gets a spot in the Deans, while the second and third place teams will have to fight off other teams from all over Fiji in the playoffs. Shalvin Chand, FBC Sports.
All rugby league clubs in Fiji are required to have their age grade teams. This allows the development of the sport and also opportunities for youths to get into NRL clubs. The Vuilevu Knights are serious about their development program, and they showed in the games today. Shalvin Chand reports.
It's not easy running an age grade program, especially with players having school commitments. But this hasn't stopped the Vuilevu Knights.
Frankly speaking, in the Vuilevu we've got a lot of young kids, under 16 and under 18, which they are dropped out from a union in their clubs, in the schools. We try to gather them and can they expose their talent in rugby league.
There is hope that this development program pays off not only for the club, but for the youngsters as well.
Our plan is to get them to train them for the future Knights. And some of them are in the squad to be for the overseas opportunity. If they can get opportunities from overseas, we can get them overseas.
Female touch judges were another notable thing today at Buckers Park.
We've had women involved in as match officials, and we've got Fulori Kini. She's been involved since Super League time, and she's still here. And this year is quite a memorable one. She's the president of the Fiji Rugby League Referees Association.
Rugby League's Vodafone Cup competition has expanded this year, with games happening around the country at all age grades. Shalvin Chand, FBC Sports.
It was quarter-final time for Suva Netball, and things are shaping up to get better with teams from all over Fiji invited to be part of an invitational tournament next weekend. Teams got down to business today at the National Netball Centre. Shalvin Chand has all the action.
If you thought the weekly competition is a non-stop thrill ride, wait until next week, when the invitation teams converge to Suva to be part of the capital's finals.
Well, basically we're moving into the new World Cup, and I just want to encourage all the Suva netball fans and supporters to come down next week. We have a big competition where we're bringing in associations from around Viti-Levu, and after the finals we move into preparations for the nationals.
Just like any sport, the intensity of the game has increased after regular competition.
Very good. We just witnessed a very tough match there in the Premier League between Wakani Sila and Kandavu. Kandavu eventually came out as winners. It's a big turnover because during the pool games, Wakani Sila actually beat them with a large margin. So the teams are actually building up towards these quarterfinals, and we look forward to the semi-finals in 2 weeks.
Today's soaring heat did not stop the players. Instead, they played their hearts out.
We're in the hot sun. It's lovely weather. We thank God for the weather because it couldn't be anything better than this.
The weekly competition has enabled Suva to identify players for the nationals and enough game time to dominate the sport once again. Shalvin Chand, FBC Sports.
After just over a month, the Fiji chess fraternity were in action again today. This time for a significant championship which was held in central Suva. It wasn't the best turnout organisers had hoped for, but no doubt the best turned up for the chance to reign supreme. Elena McDonald reports.
One of Suva's most popular hangouts today hosted something far more practical than the usual entertainment indulged by most youngsters. And for these board enthusiasts, the Rajneesh Parmeshwar Memorial Open Chess Championship was the chance to excel in their game.
We learn more techniques and everything from people like we haven't played with them. So like playing today is very good because we learn our mistakes and we learn some techniques from them.
The most eye-catching sight though was from this young group of beginners who believe chess is more than just a game.
It helps you in thinking and improves your IQ.
What I like about chess is it actually improves my maths. I'm trying to go to the junior division and try to get my medal, which my other friends have. I like it because it improves my maths.
Everyone who showed up today each had their own reason for testing out their brain power.
If I get like first or second, third position, I can manage to go to Norway next year.
But today, the chase for the $1,500 top prize continues this hour, with the likes of senior players Hilda Vukikomoala, women's chess master Gloria Suku, and even men's chess master Manoj Kumar still in the running. Elena McDonald, FBC Sports.
Showers were experienced over the eastern part of the group today. Fine and sunny weather prevailed elsewhere. Surprisingly, Suva was the hottest today with 30 degrees at 3 this afternoon. All other centres were close behind. Apart from some cloud cover, it will be fine weather all around for tomorrow. And the further outlook is for more fine weather. That was FBC News Tonight, but before we go, the headlines again. Fiji Rugby Union High Performance Unit Manager Mike Ryan resigns. Fiji's first ever fossil cave is now a tourist attraction. Concerns that most Fijians aren't planning their retirement. And composers told their right is supreme in copyright laws. To the poll question now, and we ask, should Fiji develop more relationships with other non-aligned countries apart from Russia? www.fbc.com.fj is the website to visit to take part in our weekly poll. Remember to send us newsworthy pictures and videos. Email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj. Until tomorrow, Modemanda.
Isambol binaka, nadhango wadi soni dalai, nama kio mani wasini ngono borota kina lali ne kabi, maina tolu kina bitu, ena moni tingina por rombuka, ena mbula FM, na bandu ena serre.
जहाँ हो प्यार का बसेरा और रिश्तों की खुशबू, वो है आपका अपना घर संसार. Join me on Ghar Sansar, Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. till 12 p.m. only on Radio Fiji 2.